Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of Studio 6 Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Hill, with my co-host, Shane Peak. And we have the incredible Natalie Jones on our show this evening, and we are excited to have her on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just as excited tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just so that some of the viewers know that you are the founder of the U.S. Paragon and Texas Paragon. Is that what it's called? The U.S. Paragon, right? The Texas Paragon?
Yes,
Okay.
Texas Paracon, also U.S. Paracon, First Stop, Texas Paracon.
Okay.
So that is postponed.
Wow, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yes, it is. Also the CEO of ParaFlixx. So you've got your hands full on a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're also the creator of the Ghost Hunters Girls?
Ghost Hunter Girls, yes.
Ghost Hunters Girls? Wow. Yeah. And you also are an established author, which Awakening the Higher Self, which I have your book right here because I read it all the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
So thank you, and also thank you for signing the book. I'm probably halfway or a little bit more through it, and I love it. So it's kind of like my go-to thing that I need when I'm stressed or whatever. I kind of read that.
That's so amazing.
Yes, and it makes me kind of refocus. So you also have another one called Bringing Darkness to Light.
Yeah. So the first one that you have is Awaken the Higher Self, Bringing Darkness to Light.
Okay.
Yeah, and that one was published. It came out last February, so it's been a whirlwind. I have to keep track of the years. I was thinking a second. Wait, was it last year or the year before? It's like, but that one was my publisher's amazing, and it actually came out on Valentine's Day. Love.
Right.
But the journey's been really neat, while I was writing it, kind of leading up to that. And then of course, just all of the sales and spreading the book and the love and what it's about and everything, and hearing some of the stories, including yourself, has been very humbling and remarkable. So it's exciting for sure.
Yeah, that Awakening the Higher Self is a fantastic book. And I recommend that book to anybody that's watching this. If you have not gotten that book, to please pick it up, because of the simple fact that it's actually it's a very moving book, and it kind of helped me to wake up a little bit about some things that I was stressed about, and some things that I didn't know, but I do now. And being a psychic medium, it hasn't been the easiest road for me, but that book does help. So I want to thank you for that.
Namaste. Yeah, definitely.
So you also have another one coming up soon, another book. Yes.
I'm at the tail end of it. It's really just about allocating a little bit more time to getting it done. Once I really feel confident, then my publisher and I will get together and establish a release date. But until that time, kind of getting through a little bit more through the holidays with the events.
Yeah.
Of course, we had ParaFlixx, which was the network theme at ParaFlixx for all things spooky and paranormal.
Right.
That we all love. And now we've got ParaFlixxmas going on, and it's just a fun ride every day. And I'm hoping to really time block and balance that out to get some more time where I can infuse into my other projects, and including my second book, which is called The Little Secret Book of Life.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the Paraflex Platform. Tell us how you got involved in that.
Yeah, the last few years have really been a journey. I would say the last 5 years mostly, and then really the last few years have been just really remarkable. And hello, thank you to everyone for joining in. I see a lot of friendly names and familiar faces, including Brian John from Hunophobia. It's a show on ParaFlixx. You must check it out. Brian John Many blessings to you. Thank you for watching and supporting. But yeah, the last few years have just really been boom, 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 where everything really falls into place, and trying to kind of maneuver all of the different things that are going on. But a big part of my routine and my belief system and the way that I operate is, through like a daily routine almost, where I incorporate a lot of meditation and just finding like that quiet space, that balance, and that peace and everything. And so with that is a process where I do a lot of affirmations and writing, because if you write it, it is done. And another thing is assuming that it's done. The law of assumption, having full faith, belief, and putting emotion into it as if you're already living that and stepping into it, envisioning it. And that's what's really powerful with meditation, is when you step into it, into that alpha state of consciousness, and do what I call alpha imaging. And the last few years, I've really started to be able to practice that. It's a part of a practice, just like my yoga and everything, because another big part of that is really being able to open up to all of these amazing communications that come through with Jay and Shane, that you all know. And really quick, a big shout out to Brandon Crody from Paranormal in the Funhouse. They have an amazing show as well. Cool. And crew, everyone's amazing. Greg, how are you doing? Good to see you. Liz, thank you so much for being a huge supporter and family.
She's a big supporter.
ParaFlixx and everything that you do for Paranormal in the Funhouse, and myself and ParaFlixx as well. Brian John, still waiting for his signed copy of my book. So I just, a few years back, I really started to open up more, because we all have these same abilities. And it's just about what I like to say, like fine tuning a radio, right? Like if you have static, you're not going to hear this amazing communication coming through. But the more that you clear that out, and there's different techniques and things that you can do. It's about a lifestyle, and just really connecting to spirit on a really deep level. So those communications come through, and you don't have that static. Combined with all of those other things that I was doing, I started to like really realize and understand a bit more of what was going on, and my life purpose and my soul mission. And it's the last 5 years have been nothing but miraculous. Honestly, I'd probably start crying if I really started thinking about it. But it's come full circle for me because of a really profound experience that I had. When I was a child. Hey, Mark, Kenny, huge shout out to Westland and Paranormal. They have more shows coming to ParaFlixx. They've got a couple of amazing episodes on their first series. Thank you so much for all of your loving and support. So I'll probably be doing shout outs like that. Sorry.
That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I truly just love it and support everybody. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's really come full circle, and just really starting to understand like the bigger picture of what's really going on, because our external truly is a reflection from within. And I started to understand more of like not only my life purpose and my soul mission, but all of this coming in together. And a few years back, I started to get these feelings and these impressions. You have something that I wrote up here on my wall on March 5th of 2019. So it was right after my first book came out, and it literally, if I were to read it, it would describe my life sitting here now, but more. And a few years back, I was writing these affirmations about this amazing universal platform, and then just one day it was like boom. And Nicholas came to me, because we were producing the Haunted Psychomanium Omnipresent series with myself and Nick and Richard Leo Lillard and Mike Hatcher, my business partner, also at Strange Goat Media. And he said, well, why don't we just put our show, our series, on our own platform? And he said, let's just create our own network. And I said, okay. Me, like you know, so
Right. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like straight to the top of the mountain, baby. Let's do this thing.
Right.
You know? And
That's
so
great.
it's really cool. So but here's the thing is that like when something's so right, what I call like your door, not someone else's door, everything just rolls out so smoothly. It's like this amazing divine thing. And that's what's really been amazing. And getting to know Nicholas and how much of a hard worker and amazing friend he is. And so Nicholas came to me, of course, you know, here we are. So we all obviously know what my answer was. And then we said, well, you know, will be Patty too. So within hours, you know, Patty was on board and the three of us formed ParaFlixx. I said to Nick, I said, well, let's call it ParaFlixx. And then about a couple months after that, fast forward, I had an impression come through to make sure to include Paranormal Plus and trademark it. And sure enough, shortly after that, I had learned why. But it was really cool to kind of know, like, I'm being, you know, this is such an amazing opportunity for all of us. And we incorporated ParaFlixx Inc. on November 10th of 2020. So we're just now getting close to over a year for ParaFlixx. Happy birthday to ParaFlixx. But we officially launched, you know, between that birth time and the time that the platform, the network launched on Google Play and iOS was between then and March 21st. So during all of that time, which just long hours, there would be some days where I would have, you know, 8-9 meetings a day back to back for weeks on end. And I don't even know how I did it. I just did it. You know, a bunch of it. And a lot of love and passion. I say, and every single person that I would talk to, I would say, you know, I believe that passion is 90% of everything. And then the other 10% is a little bit of hard work. And everyone on here that's talked to me, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I heard her say that. It's been really amazing and incredible. I'm very humbled to be in the position that I'm in. I don't take it lightly. I remind myself every day that the most important thing is to treat everybody with, you know, with love and respect, because there's a bigger picture here and helping the world come to understand more of our existence and awakening and everything. And that's infused in the platform as well, and not just in my book and what we stand for and our beliefs and our values and our passion that unites us. And I appreciate every single person who has subscribed. They are truly our family, not just our fans or subscribers. They mean the world. Without everybody a part of it and our amazing producers, we wouldn't be ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus. It's definitely all of our platforms. So we launched March 21st. It was really cool. And then to see just all of the amazing buzz that continues to come around the platform. It's pretty much all 5-star reviews. Everyone's pretty much keeping their subscription. I mean, we've got just this incredible egregore that's kind of, it's like it's, you know, that ParaFlixx has grown its own wings, soaring. And then we launched another hard launch in May, which included Roku TV. And then, of course, in October, we rolled out with Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's very cool. So you guys have, I mean, this is, I don't believe that, you know, everything happens for a reason, you know, and with this whole thing of, you know, your dream and everybody else's dream, and it was time that the collective came together and said, hey, you know what, things are kind of crazy in the world right now. And I think that this is something that we need. And I think it's something that is beneficial to a lot of people who do watch ParaFlixx, me included, and can just kind of just try to understand a little bit more about what's going on. You know what I mean? It's just with the way you know, people say, well, the veil is being thin, is getting thinner. And it's like, it's been thin, you know, I mean, it's been that way. And I just really, I'm grateful that somebody actually came together with this idea to put this on a platform like this. You know, 10 years ago, we were stuck watching other TV shows that we're kind of just we're not terrible, but I mean, it's just with this here this is everything. I mean, everything that you want to watch, paranormal, it's right there.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and about 90% of our content is exclusive. And again, that's thanks to, the dedication and the loyalty of our producers, those that have been there with us from the beginning. Just a huge shout out to, and you must go watch these amazing shows and series. It speaks for itself when it comes out on the screen. Huge shout out to Hunophobia, Paranormal Puzzle, Beyond the Veil Investigations, The Twisted Realm, Hollywood Paranormal Detectives, True North Paranormal, Map Paranormal. The list goes on. Our Haunted Lives, Twisted Talk.
That show.
Yeah. Haunted Lives is great.
Yeah. Recently we had Second Sight TV Paranormal come on, and the Ghost Finders and My Paranormal Experience. It just continues to grow in an amazing direction. And I just, it's everyone's always on my mind. And so I just want to make sure that everyone knows. I mean, we have the Night Stalker investigations, the new reality. I'm telling you, I Expedition Entity recently came on. They're incredible. Behind the Shadows with Dan Class. He's also in Ghost Finders. We recently just acquired Ghost Static. He's got some an amazing first episode on ParaFlixx. Night Watchers Paranormal Australia and Haunted Down Under just came on. Bizarre Dimensions, huge shout out to them for being on ParaFlixx with us from the very beginning. Of course, Paranormal in the Funhouse, the Nightmare Project, the Paranormal Journal. Kelly's Unexplained is also on ParaFlixx. I'm telling you, it just, the list goes on and on and on, but it's not that everyone is incredible. It's just truly humbling. I look at this app every day and there's nothing else out on the market like it, because we're all in it together. A huge shout out to GSI In Search Of from the UK as well. They've been with us from the beginning. True Paranormal Vlogs. And of course, Beyond the Dimensions is a ParaFlixx original with Mike Hatcher, Ashley Marino, and Jason Baker. Mike being an executive producer here at ParaFlixx Inc., as well as my partner at Strange Goat Media. We had a Para Explorers come on. He's been with us from pretty much the very beginning. Josh Morris of Teps Media. Truth or Legends in Your Hometown, Mind World Entertainment, the OBE show. And it's like Stefan Bergotti, My Darkest Hour, again, entering the unknown over in the UK. And I just thank you to everybody. And those are just, icing on the cake of the paranormal. There's a lot of other shows in there. We also have our incredible music video collection with True North Paranormal, Jada LaFrance, Jeff in the Red, Ghost Static, and others. We have some a huge wide selection of new music videos coming soon. Huge announcements coming soon. It just continues the love, and everyone is also has amazing presence on their social medias as well, and smaller different versions of some of their content. And you can kind of get a feel for who they are and their style. We also have some Unearthing the Supernatural episodes on ParaFlixx. So we're just really grateful. And we from myself, and I speak for myself and all of us here at ParaFlixx, thank you to everybody out there for all of your love and support for ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus. We reciprocate the love times a million, and we look forward to an incredible future with everybody. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, everybody there are awesome. We've had quite a few on the show, and including Mike Hatcher, and that was an awesome.
And we had our Haunted Lives.
Dave Taylor. We love Dave Taylor.
Dave's
Christy.
Cool. Christine. Yep.
Yes.
So good
They're
people.
Great.
Very good people.
And I just love their dynamic together. They're so fun to watch on screen. Just
Yeah.
an amazing talk show on ParaFlixx. Check it out.
They have that like connection. You know what I mean? And it just exudes out everywhere. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was last week's episode. It's so funny. You'll have to check it out. They had Night Watchers Paranormal Australia, another one of our content producers, on there with Pete Cazalato and Dan Rickard, and it was towards the end of the episode. And they're so funny because they flashed up this photo of a really tall guy. There's a name for it. I probably am just not recollecting it at this point. But then the shorter girl with like the short black hair and pigtails.
Okay.
And the tall guy with the really long arms holding her hand. Has anyone ever?
It's like Slender Man.
Yeah, like a Slender Man. Thank you. And I was just laughing. I was because David has always told me, we haven't met in person yet, but we're about to in Vegas at the Las Vegas Para-Unity Convention. He said, well, I'm just really, really tall. And so, you're short. And whenever I see you and I give you a big hug, you're going to realize how tall I am. I'm like, when I saw that photo, it reminded me of that. It just,
that's
how
awesome.
funny they are with their drinking and everything. Yeah. But they were recently at the Warren Con and had a really great time. We were able to do a really nice live stream from the event, and they were able to take a quick.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool how he did that.
They took a quick trip up to New York for a few days after the event. So I was happy to see them being able to just spend some fun time together. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the Vegas Paracon. Have you been to the one previous? Is that something that's a main?
Yeah.
The main ones that you've been to?
Yeah. Well, the Vegas Para-Unity is in connection with the Minnesota Para-Unity as well. And I know Minnesota Para-Unity has been around for multiple years now, and it's such a successful event. The event coordinator is amazing. And so now this is an extension and the first stop at the Vegas Para-Unity. It's very big. It's got pretty much everybody there, of course. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting all of the amazing people that come through. Just, getting to know new people and see new faces and fans and spending some quality time with them. That's my favorite part. And then, of course, meeting new faces in the paranormal that I know of, but I've never met in person. And then, of course, getting able to see some others that I have met before that are just phenomenal. I'm excited to see Brian and Rochelle from Ghost Hunters. There's Mike Rigasecker is going to be there. I was able to, spend some time with him at Vulture City Paracon. So I'm excited to be able to see him again so quickly. And yeah, it's just really exciting. Mike and Chris from Wraith Chasers. I actually, a few weekends ago, was just at Jefferson at the History, Haunts, and Legends Paranormal Conference, and they were there. They're incredible. They're top notch, just amazing. There was a really nice meet and greet, and then we had some karaoke over at the Jefferson Hotel. They're very fun to karaoke with. And then the next day was the event and the speaking and everything, and then the nighttime investigation. So I look forward to seeing them and hanging out with them. I really am excited and looking forward to saying hello to Chris Fleming again. He will be there. I've met him once in person. He's just a very kind-hearted, amazing soul. So that's going to be cool. And I'm looking forward to finally meeting Destination Fear, Dakota, Chelsea, Alex, and Tanner. They're actually going to be on the same row as us in during the Saturday and Friday vendor hall. Yeah. That's so cool. I might have to pop over there and say hi.
Yeah.
Jones.
That's cool.
But I do like that. I like that show. Yeah.
I am. I'm excited to see and meet everybody and just spread the love. So, it's always nice to be able to interact at these conferences. It's important.
So let's talk a little bit about some of your investigations that you've been on. Do you have a favorite one that you were on? And could you tell me if you actually had one that actually scared you?
That's a good question. So the most recent investigation that I've been on this year is far few and in between, even through COVID and all of that. I'll be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to traveling more and going and actually doing investigations, because a lot of these locations that I went to, it was an event, an investigation event where I wasn't really fully able to actually
my last couple of
research and all of that. It's taken a lot of my time, with Paraflixx and everything. But what I will say is that, I formed Ghost Hunter Girls in 2018, and I've been around to a lot of different locations, more so in Texas and the surrounding states, since having founded Ghost Hunter Girls. And I will have to say that this past January, February, we were out at Ohio State Reformatory investigating, and that was a really neat experience. I had a really emotional experience with one of the inmates that had been at that location, that had ended up, he had committed suicide. He had doused himself with, and lit himself on fire, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had a very, I could feel, I usually will have those experiences with energies and spirits, because of that openness, and they can feel my compassion and everything. I feel like it's more of a reach out for help, of course.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of my really profound experiences, though, have been at Haunted Hill House, here only a couple hours away from me, just because I've been there so many times. I've had a lot of experiences there. And one really profound day experience in 2019, when I was there with Concho Valley Paranormal. That one will forever stick out in my mind. But what was really interesting was when we filmed there and did our virtual web series for Omnipresent, the owner, Kathy, she had quite an experience with some energy while we were filming. It was crazy, and all of the static started coming through, and interference on both ends. And like when she came to, she was screaming my name and her husband's name, the other owner, and the door had slammed behind her in one of the rooms where there's quite frequently a lot of activity.
Sure.
Yeah, so where people are being pulled off the bed. I mean, we're talking scratched where there's blood. I mean, serious activity. So, but it's my favorite room to sleep in. I'll be honest, like I don't really get scared, just because of like who I am in spirit and what my life purpose and soul mission is. It's just kind of a part of my spiritual package. It's not necessarily fear, but what I will say is I am on high alert. I have ran before and like screamed. On the episode for Beyond the Dimensions at Ohio State Reformatory was a perfect example towards the end. Nick McKnight, most everyone knows him as Nick D'Angelo from Ink Master, but he was coming around with a corner, and it was me and Janelle Lurkowski, and we were doing an investigation in a room. It was just us, and we had our camera person, and he comes around the corner. He must have just had these light old footsteps coming around. When he came around the corner, like I flipped out. I was like, oh my God. So it was, I was like, well, I knew Mike was going to come across that footage. And of course he put it in the trailer. So, it's always a good time, but I really like the Lavaca County Jail here in Texas. Of course, Old Park Hotel, and then just right up the way from me is really close. Sometimes I'll just take a drive out there, not necessarily at night, sometimes during the day, up to
ghosts don't care.
Goatman's Bridge up in Denton. It's really peaceful during the day.
I've seen some of those pictures. Yeah, it looks peaceful.
Yeah. So, and then there's the Demon Theater, Achenbach Memorial Hospital. I was up there about a year and a half ago. Went up to Kansas and did some investigating around there. And Louisiana, the Gothic Hanging Jail is really, really interesting. So, yeah, I'd really like to make it out east and really start interacting and collaborating with a lot more teams and individuals that I have a lot of respect for, and going to these locations. The Hinsdale House when
we're gonna go there in April.
Yeah. So that will be quite an experience for y'all then.
Hopefully.
That's really exciting.
I got all my science gear ready, so.
Yeah. Well, when I founded Ghost Hunter Girls, it was myself and my partner Nicole, and she's amazing. I will always love her, but she decided to go a different direction in life, and she's got a beautiful family that she started and everything. But it's still me and one of my other originals, my director of photography, Joey. So he's like my best friend now. He's my right hand guy. And he knows everything, all of the other stuff, that we go through in life, and we got to work through, all of these experiences. But I think that's what life is about, right?
Right.
It's about taking what comes at you and either growing from it or internalizing the negativity and letting it, take you down. And when you can get through it and have that breakthrough moment and do it functionally, by through healthy outlets and through faith and just all of these other amazing things that we have access to, our gratitude. We're all able to really tap into that creative being and that the omnipotent presence and that omniscience, that pure refined intelligence that can give us the answers on how to really get through those hard times, and big part of my first book was my passion is in residential cases and helping people that are dealing with some really dark general influences and energies, and helping them to sometimes realize that maybe that's not what it is, that it's more of just about healing, and as a dark energy healing facilitator, it's been I'm just really grateful that I've been able to help some people who have let me know. I'm just truly grateful that you were able to share your knowledge and help me, because my life is completely different now. And I don't know, it's just that's what we do, right? We try to help wherever we can.
So
Go ahead.
So I got questions. So I'm from the science world of the paranormal side. Jay and I are the yin and yang. He's the spiritual side. I'm the science side. So I'd seen that you were working on your doctorate for your metaphysical science. I was just wondering if you could tell us a little about your studies there and what's going on, and what are you doing in the world of the science side?
Yeah, well, I'm very much into the science of consciousness and awareness, and the metaphysics and all of that. So I'm enrolled in a self-paced online program at the University of Sedona, with a degree in metaphysics, MSCD, with an ongoing in my master's, and it's a doctoral program.
Okay, sure.
So, yes. So, and that is in conscious-centered living. So
it's psychology.
No, this is metaphysical science. This is natural. Okay. This is tapping into the universe, the God source, and all of that. It is not something where it is at the University of Sedona, but because it is a theological, what they consider a theological outlet, it can neither be accredited, though it can neither be discredited, because it's metaphysical science.
Sure, of course.
It's not something where I'm going to get my my doctors in psychology or anything like that. This is more the natural, the esoterics and the metaphysics and all that, but it goes into a very deep level.
So do you have a particular thesis you're working on, or are you just kind of?
I'm still getting through my bachelor's. Once I get to the master's side of it and the doctorate side of it, then I will be, submitting the thesis and those sorts of things.
You could almost use your book.
I'll tell you, I'm more focused right now on finishing my book. So I'm very grateful that this is an online, an online paced thing, because I would love to be able to get through it and then all of it in the next couple of years. But this is something I'm probably going to be working on for about 5 years.
Right.
I do enjoy it, and I'm very grateful for it whenever I am able to start reading through some of my modules.
Sure.
Do you think that this has been like a step-by-step thing for you, that this is something that's just one step after another, that you were kind of drawn to this, the metaphysical type thing? I mean, did you just kind of feel it deep inside of you that says, I got to do this? I just feel drawn to this.
Yeah, it's been a process of, in my 30s, really.
Okay.
I think when you are in your 20s, you're trying to figure out life from like a worldly point of view, because we're so programmed. We're so programmed as a society. So, I'm getting up there, but
join the club. You can be with us. Yeah, we're good and old.
Really, in the last 5 years, the beginning of my awakening, and I think that life is really a progression. You don't just figure it out all at once. And if you think that you do, and all of a sudden you're awakened, then you're still in that ego mindset. This is really taking one day at a time, and continuing to move forward in a really, in your highest, as your highest self, because our inner self is only a portion of our higher self package. So reconnecting every day, resetting, because even while we're asleep, we pick up energies, and those
of course,
you all know that, right? So so it's just about like really moving forward one day at a time, with that renewed sense of, and starting to see over time the products of that in your outside world, people, places, and things, because it truly is a reflection of within. And you know what, if you make a mistake, don't be so hard on yourself. If someone else does something to you, maybe show compassion and forgiveness, instead of internalizing that and letting any type of lower vibrational energy of hate or anger just bubble up within you, because then you're going to start seeing that in other areas of your life, because your thoughts are made of electric energy and your emotions are made of magnetic energy. Well, we know as investigators and researchers, that's an electromagnetic field in itself. So you're creating, an electromagnetic field of these thoughts and emotions. And we're constantly, as creative beings, emitting information into the field, into the consciousness field. So you're sending out what you are going to get in return. So that's why it's so important to meditate and get back into that awareness and really work through it, because none of us are. That's why we're here. We're here to learn. And if we can how amazing would it be if you mess up but instead of just getting crucified for it for years, what is that? Like, we can't do that to one another. It's, if we just give each other the opportunity to learn and grow. Now, I'm not saying we condone bad behavior. That's not it whatsoever. It's a completely different thing. And you have to have healthy boundaries in your relationships. But it's getting back to what I believe is that a lot of times we'd be surprised if we were to just show unconditional love. That encourages that
especially in America today. You don't see it much.
No, you don't. But it actually encourages most people who are by nature really, really good at heart. It encourages most people to correct and want to better themselves, as opposed to if you were to show them hate, then it turns into more just nastiness that none of us really need in our life. It's already hard enough, right?
Yeah, we got enough.
Yeah, we don't need to stir the pot.
More.
No.
Jay's like, I just call it stirring the pot, man.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't need to be stirring the pot. But these are things that I live by in my life. I mean, do unto
working
others
for you, it looks like. So
have done unto you, right? So it's a progression. Life's a progression and learning
Right.
And I think it's amazing. You know, we're all so blessed to be here. To every day is a gift. Our time is a gift, because what really is time, right?
Yeah. Well, especially on the spiritual side. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. There is no time.
Right.
Range, at least.
Time is not what we think it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, even us science guys say that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very interesting. You know, I like to categorize knowledge as like in 3 different main things. Is you have that knowledge that we can quantify and that we learn and we know, and then we have the rabbit hole where we know there's more to it because of what we know, and then we have the stuff that we don't even know that we don't even know that we don't know it because it's so off grid. These are God's mysteries, the universe's mysteries.
The scientists face that daily.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So do you think that when you go through life, like for me, for instance, I knew I was gifted when I was young, but I didn't know what it was. And I ran away from my gifts and everything for years with, drugs, alcohol, whatever. And then when it come down to when I had to stop that, my body said, okay, that's enough. And then after I went through my health stuff, then it was kind of like, then I woke up. Do you think that is something that people actually do go through on a daily basis? I mean, you think there's more other people out there that knew their gifts or knew whatever and don't know how to handle it because of the fact that they don't have a support group or have somebody else that they know that's like that or whatever, so that they run from it. I ran toot sweet. I was not having nothing to do with it until it came down to when after I had my stroke, I quit drinking, I quit doing everything. And then I had to wake up, and it was just like, is that what it took? I guess, but everybody is on their own path. There is no other person that has the same path, same anything. Everybody is on their own individual path. So it's just kind of like, I just am curious. I know that there's other addicts out there, and there's other people that have experienced this stuff, and it's just like, that's maybe a normalcy for some of those people that run from it. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you're 100% correct. We all come to the table at our own time, at different times. And I think that when you have these abilities, and yes, I know some others as well who were, what it may be depend on like the environment that you grow up in, or some of the things that you have to deal with in your life where it feels like a full-time juggle and struggle. But that's where it's so important to quiet the mind and reconnect with spirit instead of opening a beer or anything else that's not good for you. And I feel like that when people with these abilities, or whether, again, I believe we all have these abilities.
So do I.
That static out.
That fine tuning.
The more that you are connected with that spirit, and the ego goes to the back seat, the more you start just naturally going in the direction and realizing that fear is an illusion, and you stop to worry about what other people are thinking, and you come to your own truth, and you become more confident, and you're able to stand in your own truth and your own power, whether anyone wants to stand around you and lift you up for it or not. I think that's a part of awakening.
Right.
Sure.
I would agree totally.
So that's amazing. Kudos to you, and you have my love and support.
Yeah, I know. And it was one of those things where, I've seen a lot of people in my life that have just, who I knew that were gifted and just decided to just not follow that path, or just to succumb to their addictions. And, I've struggled with that my whole life, but I know part of my life is helping those who want to exit life early. And I had friends and family that have done that. And I just feel that it's something in me that I have a gift to give, and that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So yeah. So part of the whole with the ParaFlixx and the paranormal and everything, that also kind of helped me to kind of explore different avenues of shows and different talk shows and different like movies and TV shows, a different perspective from different people, and not just 2 to 3 people. You know what I mean? With your vast variety library of people on your show, on your platform, there are so many different avenues for different opinions that people can really learn to appreciate what the paranormal really is.
So. I appreciate that very much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Brian, Ron. First of all, I was reading some of the comments. A big thank you to Robert. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. Rigi.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the kind words. I look up to you. I have a lot of respect to you and your experience. I can feel it. So coming from you, that means a lot. I really appreciate it.
He's a very good friend of mine. So
that's amazing.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, man. And then Brian John says he has an addiction to Paraflex.
Is
so bad?
Okay, I have to post this. This is funny.
Brian John, you made the reel.
Right?
Yep. Let me answer this question. No.
No.
What's that?
I said, let me answer this question. No.
No. Yeah, right. No.
I'll be honest, and I'm not very candid with this, but my family line actually struggles with alcoholism.
Okay.
Yeah, and for a long time, in my 20s, I thought it was normal to just go out and party.
My kid's going through that.
And then I went through a phase where I would just socially drink or those sorts of things, but we really have to be careful what we put into our bodies and the effects that it has on us. And when it starts to affect your life, and I haven't had a drink now in going on 6 months, and that's just the way that I prefer my life to be, because I always like to be in control and do the right things. And I think that when people are under the influence of anything, no matter what it is, you have a shift in change of who you are, period. So you have to be really aware and careful of that, and not everything is for everybody. And but I do think like a glass of wine or two is supposed to be healthy for you.
I mean that's
I don't know.
That's a totally different.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, there's social drinkers, and then there's people that are in it to win it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to be one of those people, but I'm not like that. I haven't had a drink since 2013.
Well, congratulations.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Keep it up.
So and I really don't have a desire. So I would rather meditate or focus more on positive energy than anything else now, realizing that's where it's at. You know what I mean? And my guides tell me that all the time. And when I don't meditate enough, I have something in my ear. It's probably a good idea to meditate. It's probably a good idea for this, because they're not going to tell you have to do anything, but they can make suggestions, and that's what I've noticed. We all have free will, so we make our own choice. So they're not going to tell you have to do this, because that's not their job to do that.
Well, that's one of the universal laws, is our free will. There's so many different universal laws. One of the universal laws that was given to me while I was in meditation, while I was writing my first book, was the Law of Unconditional Love. In my book, and I don't know if you've seen this part, there's a page where I do a diagram and put all the different how they're interconnected. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's wild. Yes.
I would pray to to the universe, to God. I would ask for direction if there was anything more that needed to come, and I would regularly receive communications in hypnagogic state of consciousness, which is you have your beta, alpha, theta. In my regular meditation, just to make sure I don't go to sleep, I really like to stay in that alpha and just do alpha imaging. But with the theta, I'm not as strong yet. I don't know how many years it's going to take to get into theta without going.
Well, you're ahead of me.
Straight into delta, like lights out, people. And it's so funny because, but it would usually it's always when the theta, I guess you would call it landing, not taking off. So landing, coming out of sleep, and it was like the law of unconditional love. So of course I jump out of bed and I go write it down. I'm like, well, it would make sense that there's an actual law of unconditional love. This light for everything is made of energy. Well, what is that source? It's that chi, that prana,
Yep.
you know, that
Mhm.
the light energy. It's in everything. And so when you're completely cleared out, you know, as a Reiki master, this is one of the things that I am more dedicated to my own practice on myself with that right now. But and I do that a lot after my yoga meditation, is lay on my mat and do my own treatment through my chakras and everything.
Right.
But even our chakras have they're neurocenters. They're very intelligent neurocenters that emit information, and when they're clear and open and everything, and there's no blockages, and you've got, you know, your the back point, point, and the front point cone, and they're both spinning, and I don't know if most people know this, but your sacral chakra is and your root chakra in the back, they're about 1 inch above where they're located at in the front. It's because of like your tailbone.
Yep.
But your most open point is right here in the back of your neck,
where you have
direct connection to source. And we have more than just our 7 main chakras. Right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to have those you know, your auric field and your chakra system and your meridians open and flowing and in the right direction. It's not just one done, bam, thank you, ma'am. This is a daily thing. This is daily work. You have to put in the work every single day. You have to wake up with the intention, you know what, I'm going to be a blessing, because we're blessed to be a blessing. I hope that I can be a blessing to everybody who I come in contact with today, with all of my heart, all of my might, all of my mind, and all of my strength. And that's where you really start to tune in to who you really are in the core. You know, none of this worldly ego-based stuff that doesn't matter, the attachments that don't exist anymore when we leave here. What are you going to have when you take with you? It's not going to be what you have. It's going to be how much you loved and how much you're able to grow in spirit. So
that's my prayer every morning when I leave the house. How can I benefit somebody else? You know, how can I be able to be a servant of somebody else?
That's amazing.
To bless somebody else. You know what I mean? But that's also part of my protection. I have to protect. I have to protect myself every morning, just because of the fact that I've been jumped when I wasn't protected, and that sucks. And so I vowed never to leave the house without being protected.
That's amazing. That's
important. I love your coffee cup. That thing's huge.
It's really big. I like big coffee cups on purpose.
A little tiny girl with a great big cup.
You're so funny. You can put more coffee in it.
Yes. Right. Coffee is the liquid of life.
Yes. That is the first thing in the morning.
I try to not drink too much coffee. I really do. But like my grandfather says, we were always really, really close. He's always with me. He's one of my protectors and guides. He's amazing. But he, you know, when he was alive, he would always say, coffee cools me down in the summers. So I like to say coffee chills me out at night and it cools me down in the summers. It's completely reversed, but it's you know, it's a thing apparently for the Joneses.
Are you the coffee after dinner person?
I love coffee after dinner.
That's the best.
I love coffee after dinner too. It's just the problem is sleep's like 3 a.m. It's like
it doesn't bother me.
I gotta get up at 6.
No, coffee for me afterwards. My mother gave me coffee when I was little because I was hyperactive, and my mother gave me coffee. The doctor told her to give me cups of coffee when I was 2. And she said, no, are you crazy? I can't control him now. She's like, just wait. Just do it for a few for a few weeks. And she did. And I was off the wall. My mom was about ready to pull her hair out. And she's like, I just can't do this anymore. And one day she heard me running around in the living room, and all she heard a thud. And then she came in, and I was passed out cold, sleeping. Because what it did was it reversed in my young brain, it reversed the tolerance.
Wow.
So now when I drink too much caffeine, I get really sleepy.
My kids are too big to experiment.
That makes sense, because I was about to ask. So
yeah.
it's
So
kind
I
of
can drink coffee now, and so yeah, I can drink 2 cups. I usually have 2 or maybe 2.5, 3 cups during the morning, and then maybe.
Well, then you'll have to get yourself some new ParaFlixx coffee. Pre-orders are on sale at ParaFlixx.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. That was on my list of things to do today, and I got so busy. And
oh man, ParaFlixx.com/coffee.
Yeah.
The Mike Hatcher line is officially sold out, but there's still some bags of Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, and University Magicus.
Okay. Yeah. I contacted Patty right after I contacted you because I was trying to get both of you on the same show.
Aww.
And I always thought that would have been really good for both of you guys to hang out together with us. So, but she was so busy. She said she couldn't. Which I understand and I totally get, But she said eventually, when she gets free time. But, and I look forward to speaking with Patty too, because I love Patty.
Oh my gosh, Brian Johns never had coffee.
What?
I
should start drinking never.
I don't think he's mortal.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's got some kind of. I mean,
Brian Johns,
he's a spiritual being.
Second time. It's apparently he's got a really good story from his college days too. I saw that one. That's spring break.
Yeah, I saw that. That's another story.
Yes, I had a drink.
Wow,
dude.
Oh.
I mean,
yeah. If
we've got some conversating to do, Brian.
Yeah, if you need a comedic insert, Brian's your man, because I'm sure he's got some stories. So he said never, never had, never.
Brian John's amazing, and if you haven't already, make sure to go sign up at ParaPost, the new social media for the paranormal, parapost.net, and there's an app for the phone and all of the devices. Y'all are on ParaPost.
Yep, I'm on that thing somewhere.
Yeah, yep, I am too. So yeah, yep. So well, we're probably about the end of our rope here with this, So I want to thank Natalie for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and it's been long overdue. So I'm glad that we were actually able to accomplish this. Yeah, I can write this off my bucket list. So
part 2 with Patty.
Yeah, part 2 with Patty, most definitely.
That would be excellent.
Right. Part 2 with Patty. I'm excited. I get to see her this coming weekend. She's going to be in Dallas, so it's going to be nice. I don't know how I got to be so lucky to see her 2 weekends in a row, because then after that it's Vegas. But I'll just count my blessings and hope for another time.
Well, tell her me and Shane say hi, and then
we will
wait to eventually get her on. So, but yeah. So thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. This has been a fantastic episode with Natalie Jones, CEO of ParaFlixx, and we want to thank everybody, and we want to thank again Natalie. You've been a great guest, a fantastic guest, and we will see you next week.